As a lot of you guys are aware, I released a video earlier today basically talking about YouTube and how unhappy I am with them and all that other stuff. I got a lot of interesting feedback from people. The vast majority of people were very supportive, happy with the work that I've been doing and want to make sure that I can continue to do it. Got a lot of new patrons, pushing me further toward being ad-free on YouTube, not being under their thumb pretty much. But there was a small segment of the population who seemed to think that I don't have a real job as a YouTuber. Seemed to think I don't do anything, that it's just 100% passive income and I just sit on my ass all day and collect money and that's it. That is not the case in any way. So I wanted to just kind of go through my typical week and talk about what it's like. In fact, immediately after that video, I went to my website to write a blog article about it, just because I wanted to get it down on record, and I wanted to really figure out how much time I spend every week doing this stuff. Like, do I work a 40-hour week? Or is it more? Is it less? No, whatever it turned out to be, I love this job. This is the best job I've ever had, whether I work 20 hours a week or 100 hours a week. I love doing this work. It's just very frustrating when I don't know if I'm going to mess up, or I don't know how I'm messing up when I do. And if I mess up, then they dock my pay. That's pretty much what this is. If I mess up in some unknown way that they're not going to explain afterwards, they dock my pay by like 25%, 30, 40%. It's a lot. It's a very unfair system. And I understand that that's part of being a contractor. I accept that as part of the territory. I just don't like it. And I don't see anything wrong with lobbying for change. That's basically what I've been doing. That's what I did earlier on my video. I'm basically just lobbying for change. This is the best job I've ever had because I have a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I can do it in my own time. So I wrote this whole article basically figuring out exactly how much time I put into YouTube every week. And I went day by day. On Sundays, I determined I'm basically working from 3 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. So 3 o'clock is when I make my premieres public, and I sit in there and I chat with people until 4 o'clock when the premiere starts. Then from 4 to, 4:15 or so, 4:20 is when the premiere is going. And then I got about 10 minutes afterward to kind of look at the analytics and figure things out. Then I spend about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half afterward, talking in the comments, responding to people on Twitter, responding to emails, that kind of thing. I spend at least an hour a day responding to people, like in comments and things like that. Comments, Twitter, emails, and Facebook, and things like that. So I do have some breaks in between 3 p.m. and 10:30 p.m., but for the most part, that's a solid block of work, usually. If I'm not working after the premiere, then I'm working before the premiere. Like today, I went and got dinner and then hung out with my girlfriend for a little bit after the premiere, but that's because I got a lot of the work done that I would have done after the premiere before it happened. So 3 to 10:30 basically on Sundays is how long I work. It's kind of supposed to be my day off, or one of my 2 days off, but it never is. Then Mondays, I end up editing the podcast and writing metadata, creating thumbnails, uploading, and a whole bunch of other stuff for the podcast. That takes about 7 hours. Takes about 4 hours of editing or so, and then another 3 hours of scheduling the releases, writing the descriptions, making the thumbnails, and all that other stuff. It takes a surprisingly long time. Uploading the videos takes a long time just after the editing itself is done to just get the videos onto YouTube and ready to release. So about 7 hours on Monday. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, I kind of split it up. So usually on Tuesdays, I will write 2 scripts. One for my main YouTube channel and one for my retro channel. And that takes roughly 3.5 hours per script, give or take. Sometimes it takes about 5 hours per script. It kind of varies. Then on Wednesday, I do all of the editing. I record, I edit, I write the metadata and create the thumbnails and everything for those 2 scripts. So I basically produce 2 videos in 2 days. And each video takes between 7 and 10 hours, beginning to end. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I have full days worth of work. Thursday is supposed to be my day off, but inevitably I usually end up working on t-shirt designs, talking to people on Twitter and in the comments, trying to check on my analytics and improve my analytics in some way, that kind of thing. So I usually work 3 or 4 hours on Thursdays. Fridays, I usually start on a script for the Sunday video. So I'll write the script and then I'll communicate with people again, comments and Twitter and things like that. It takes about 7 or 8 hours on Fridays typically. Then Saturdays, I do another 5 or 6 hours worth of editing. Like I said, these numbers go up and down from day to day. It varies, but I really do not have a day off, really. I mean, there aren't any days that I don't work. I work every single day of my life. Typically, that's at least 65 hours of work per week. Not to mention the fact that I host websites, so I have to work on the servers, make sure that they're being protected, they're not under danger of being hacked, communicate with my clients. I run a 3D printing store, so I have to run maintenance on my printer and print various things, ship things through the post office, probably work a total of 70 to 80 hours a week, every single week. So somebody said they run a YouTube channel and they work full-time and they have a kid. Why can't I do it? There's your answer. Because I work a lot harder than you do on my channel. On my 3 channels. A long time ago, like when I started out YouTube, I was kind of unhappy about the fact that there were a lot of bigger YouTubers who were not talking to me, who weren't responding to my messages or emails or anything. I was like, are they too good for me? What's the deal here? Why aren't they talking? Why don't they respond? I mean, it's just a simple, hey, thanks for the message. That's all they'd have to say, And I decided I was not going to be like that when or if I got big. As time went on, I responded to every single comment on YouTube, every single comment, every tweet, every Facebook message, everything, up to 50,000 subscribers. That's when it went downhill. That's when it was so much that I literally could not do it anymore. At this point, if I wanted to respond to every single comment, every tweet, every Facebook message that I get, I would probably be spending 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, doing it. It's a lot. I honestly didn't think it was going to be as much as it is, so I had to limit myself to like an hour a day, or maybe 2 hours a day of communication. There was one point in time where I had some really, really good friends, and I still consider them really, really good friends. I don't talk to them as much as I used to, but they've been heavily involved in my Discord. They've been heavily involved in helping me run it, one of whom was the owner for like a really long time of the Discord. Really good friend of mine. Sent him a Christmas present and everything. It was an expensive present too. It wasn't this cheap thing. I mean, he's my friend. I met up with him when I went to a conference and got In-N-Out Burger with him and everything. Dude is legit as fuck. But let me tell you this, something that I realized. There's a point where there are too many people that are trying to talk to you at once. Like a human can only maintain a relationship of substance with a maximum of 10 to 15 people at a time in their lives. Somebody is going to get like pushed out or neglected in some way past that, or everybody's going to suffer from it. I've discovered. So I've got like my brothers, my sister, my girlfriend, my friend Brian, Kylie's mom and grandmother and great-grandmother. That's 8 people. I only have room for like 6 more. And That's honestly pushing it. It came to the point where I was trying to be friends with everybody at the same time, and I was jumping from conversation. So I would send a message to somebody, and they would respond to me as I was responding to another person. So I have like 5 message boxes pulled up from 5 friends. I'd send a message to person number 1, and then I'd send a message to person number 2, and then number 3. And by the time I got to person 3, person 1 had already responded. So I'd go through and respond really quickly to person number 4 and 5, and then jump back to 1. And number 3 had already responded. It was a juggling act that I would do this for like hours, just jump between 5 conversations with 5 different people for like 3 or 4 hours at a time and do literally nothing else, because trying to carry a conversation with like 5 people is really, really difficult. I sent some of these people Christmas presents. They were and are, I still consider them my really close, good friends. I just can't carry a conversation for long, and I hate it. It's really, really hard to be bombarded with a lot of messages all the time. I wish that I could respond to more of them, because I love hearing people's stories. I love talking to people and just being friends with them. But it's so hard to maintain a conversation or even a friendship with people when you have so many others pounding on the door trying to get in, you know? Anyway, as I was saying, 50,000 subscribers is about the threshold. That's about where I broke down and I couldn't maintain communication with everybody anymore. 50,000 subscribers. It got really, really intense at that point, and I was spending hours and hours and hours, all of my free time, responding to people. So I pretty much just have to pick and choose who I devote my time to talking to, and I just can't stand it. I just wish that I could just have a normal friendship with people, you know. But those people do still hold a place in my heart, and I do still talk to them. I just don't talk to them as much as I used to, is all. So anyway, that's my typical week. I roughly work about 65 hours a week, at least. 65 to 80 hours a week. And YouTube will bring in not very much money, honestly. YouTube doesn't bring in very much money. I can't really talk about what it brings in, because they will kick me off of YouTube if I do, but it's in my employee contract, basically, that I won't talk about what I make, but it's not much. It's a lot less than you'd think for somebody with 135,000 subscribers. But either way, I'm making it. It just, YouTube just really pisses me off. I just wish they'd give me some kind of handbook or something so that I knew what I was supposed to do and what I wasn't supposed to do. So I knew what rules to follow, that kind of thing. It would be really nice if I had something like that, but since I don't, I'll just ride the line really, really closely, just be as careful as I can not to upset them.